Anyone who's been eaten alive by a snake knows they only swallow their prey whole without chewing. But I swallowed a meter-long black mamba. Global aberration had descended, turning 70% of living things into aberrant monsters. And the black mamba before me, in the previous life, had mutated into a terrifying black dragon. Only by swallowing it before the aberration could I evolve along with the black mamba. Now reborn, there are only 3 hours left until the aberration descends. I immediately rushed out of the classroom and headed for the back mountain. In this life, only I know its terror. In the previous life, it swept through all of humanity, even exceeding level 5 warriors were no match for it. And exceeding level 5 warriors, as long as they haven't awakened, have a chance to gain armor power. In my previous life, I tried everything but couldn't awaken my armor, and was eventually gnawed to death by aberrant creatures. In this life, I took a different approach, frantically searching for the black mamba in the back mountain of the school. 2 hours later, I found it in the bushes, a black mamba, its entire body pitch black, coiled under the shade of a tree. Just as I was thinking about how to swallow it alive, a meow suddenly came. A stout tabby cat spotted the black mamba, its eyes lit up, and it sneakily approached. When the distance between them was less than 30 centimeters, the black mamba suddenly jumped up, biting at the tabby cat with astonishing speed. However, the tabby cat reacted even faster, dodging back while simultaneously swatting the black mamba away with a paw. After a moment of entanglement between cat and snake, the black mamba dizzily tried to escape, but how could the tabby cat let go of this delicious spicy stick? It gave another flurry of paw strikes, beating the black mamba to the brink of death. Just as the tabby cat was about to feast, I suddenly rushed out, yelling and jumping out of the bushes. The tabby cat was startled, darted several meters away with a whoosh, and turned to stare at me. I ignored it, picked up the dying black mamba with one hand, and glanced at the time, 16:59. Luckily, I made it. I breathed a sigh of relief. I looked at the dizzy black mamba in my hand, as if seeing a bright future. The tabby cat glared at me resentfully from afar. If it weren't for this two-legged beast, it would already be eating the spicy stick. But it didn't know that the aurora was about to descend, and after the black mamba mutated, it wouldn't be able to eat it at all. The time had come to 59 minutes and 20 seconds, my heart was racing. I had to swallow this black mamba in the last 20 seconds. Seeing that the time had reached 59 minutes and 30 seconds, I flicked the black mamba's head a few times and took a deep breath. When the countdown reached 20 seconds, the color of the sky began to brighten. I knew the aurora had descended into the atmosphere. I didn't hesitate, opened my mouth wide, and endured the discomfort, swallowing the black mamba bit by bit. Even after the entire black mamba was swallowed into my stomach, I could still feel it struggling to death in my gastrointestinal tract. In that instant, a dazzling and piercing aurora swept across silently. At the same time, a deafening roar erupted within me, and the struggling black mamba seemed to transform into a fiery serpent, stinging my body and igniting it. As I screamed, my memories underwent a frenzied transformation. Patches of black dragon scales sprouted all over my body, my full head of black hair instantly turned white, the blood within me felt as if it was set ablaze, and my bones seemed to be cracking and healing one by one. I could feel the entire black mamba merging with me. I don't know how long it lasted, but 2 black dragons sprouted from my spine with soft popping sounds. Dragon horns grew on my head, and the black dragon scales on my body merged into my skin, leaving behind faint black dragon tattoos. My mouth was filled with incredibly sharp teeth, and even 2 dragon fangs grew. I felt an explosive power within me, along with a surge of inherited techniques in my mind, and I let out a roar towards the sky. I succeeded. I sensed the powerful and invincible force within me, digesting the inherited techniques in my mind. My white hair was like snow, my pupils turned blood red, and a black dragon tattoos appeared between my eyebrows. Under my control, the 2 dragon fangs transformed back into ordinary teeth. Suddenly, a slightly childish voice came from my mind. "Master," I was slightly stunned. It was the voice of the black mamba. "Master, you're actually a reborn soul. Your past life memories are too insane." "So I was that powerful, no wonder you risked devouring me." The black mamba's voice was full of complexity. "You can see my memories?" I was a little surprised. Although these 2 black dragons have their own consciousness, they are like a part of my body, and I can take control at any time. "Master, we are now one, inseparable, but you have the control over the body." The black mamba said, "I'm really sorry, I don't know what to say." "It's okay, from now on you'll be called Xiao Yao." I touched Xiao Yao's dragon head, feeling gratified. This life's overlord will undoubtedly be us. A roar suddenly came from a distance. I looked up and saw that the tabby cat that had previously abused the black mamba had mutated into a terrifying monster with wings and fur like steel needles all over its body. "Master, kill him!" Xiao Yao roared, staring hatefully at the cat monster. But the cat monster took the lead and pounced on me, its murderous aura overwhelming, shaking the mountains and forests. A sinister glint flashed in my eyes, and with a whoosh, I stomped the ground under my feet, my hands transforming into indestructible, sharp dragon claws, and charged forward like a cannonball. In one encounter, I tore the cat monster in half. Too strong. I retracted my dragon claws, wanting to eat it, but without me saying anything, Xiao Yao had already taken the lead, and the two dragons appeared in front of the two halves of the cat monster's corpse, opening their blood-filled mouths and devouring them. I could clearly feel streams of heat rising within my body, and the dragon cells were more active than ever before. Sure enough, sun cultivation requires devouring powerful flesh and blood. "Master, let's go kill someone." Xiao Yao's voice was childish and excited. "In our previous life at school, wasn't there a grasshopper who treated you like an animal? Let's go kill him now." "That's exactly what I intend to do." I smiled slightly. The memories of my previous life are my memories, and I hate that grasshopper so much. "You go back into my body first, the person I want to kill is from the same school as me." I turned and walked towards the school gate. The son of a billion-dollar group's leader, whose grandfather is also a big shot in a military region. Although the mysterious aurora has swept the globe, there will be no large-scale distortions for the time being in 3 hours. When I arrived at the school gate, there were many students coming and going because school had already ended. I didn't enter the school, but waited outside. Lin Shuyun would take a group of rich second generations out to dinner around 5:30, and it's 5:27 now. With my full head of white hair, bare upper body, and a black dragon tattoo on my chest, I immediately became a special sight. Strange glances swept over me, some from men, some from women, followed by various whispers. I revealed a sneer and lit a cigarette. The distortion of 70% of the world's creatures is completely random. By then, the major war zones will also be overwhelmed. Before long, I finally saw the target of this hunt. He walked out of the school with a group of rich second generations, talking and laughing. Seeing this person, I couldn't help but recall the scene in my previous life where these rich second generations drove me out to attract monsters in order to escape, causing me to lose 3 fingers and almost die a violent death. A cruel look appeared on my face, and I quickly walked towards them. "Who are you? Get out of the way, dog." A playboy rich second generation saw me walking over and had no intention of giving way, coldly scolding. Lin Shuyun glanced at me and mocked, "Get lost." I didn't say anything and stepped in front of him. While the latter was stunned, I grabbed his neck with my left hand and unloaded his right hand without saying a word. Accompanied by a pig-like scream, everyone present was frightened. The 3 rich second generations behind Lin Shuyun were frightened and pale upon seeing this scene, and retreated backwards. Lin Shuyun's face was pale, and she instinctively roared, then fainted. "Save me! Call an ambulance!" The students who were going out to eat saw this scene, especially the girls, who were so frightened that they screamed. I completely ignored them and unloaded Lin Shuyun's other arm with a thud. The piercing pain woke her from her faint. "Who are you? What grudge do we have? Do you know who I am, who my grandfather is? How dare you do this to me?" I looked at her coldly and threw her on the ground. "No matter who you are, I will cripple your limbs today." Then I crushed his knee. "Stop." Just as I was about to crush his other knee, the school's 2 security guards finally arrived and waved their electric batons to take me down. "Do you know the consequences of meddling?" I fixed the 2 security guards with an icy stare, chilling them to the bone. Their rushing steps abruptly halted. In that split second of hesitation, I brought my foot down on Lin Shuyun. She let out a hoarse scream, then her eyes rolled back and she passed out completely. So satisfying, this feeling of personally torturing an enemy. One of the security guards gritted his teeth and charged at me, brandishing an electric baton. "You're going to die anyway, so dying 2 hours earlier is still dying." A fierce glint flashed across my face, and I slammed a fist into his chest. He flew out more than 10 meters like a kite with a broken string, collapsing to the ground dead. If I didn't kill this security guard now, he would become a monster in 2 hours. This could be considered solving a hidden danger in disguise. The onlookers' students were horrified and retreated backward. Some called the law enforcement bureau, others called for an ambulance. Disperse, all of you. Only a few of you here will survive in a little over an hour. There's no need to worry about this. I coldly left those words behind and turned to leave quickly. The apocalypse arrives. The time came to 6 p.m. in the evening, and the real apocalypse descended. All kinds of screams and roars resounded throughout one prosperous city after another. Some people who were fleeing for their lives suddenly foamed at the mouth, their entire heads split open, growing a bloodthirsty maw, hideous beyond compare, before swallowing their previous companions. Even more trees had their branches and leaves instantly wither and fall, then sprout grotesque tentacles wearing glasses, and would entangle and devour any humans who passed by. At this moment, I overlooked the entire city from the 100th floor through the huge floor-to-ceiling windows. This is hell. In my previous life, I was able to survive for 8 years, which was already too difficult. The monsters were too disgusting, and I really couldn't bring myself to fight them barehanded. So I came to retrieve the sharpest weapon from my previous life. Master, should we first grab some supplies, or should we first deal with the Monkey King in the city's zoo? Xiaoyao's voice echoed in my mind. Just then, a woman's scream came from outside the door. Then a woman in a business suit ran screaming into the office, frantically slamming the door shut. After doing all this, she collapsed to the ground, her voluptuous body trembling slightly, her face full of despair. Who are you? Only then did she notice a stranger in the chairman's office, and she also saw the 4 monster corpses there. I glanced at her indifferently and took a step toward the door. Seeing this, the woman crawled to the side, looking at me in terror, secretly thinking, can I use this person to lure away the monsters outside, and then enter the elevator to go to the underground warehouse? On her way here, she had betrayed several companions. Now that she saw someone here, she immediately had ulterior motives. With her beauty, what man wouldn't be captivated? Suddenly, heavy blows rained down on the office door from the outside, accompanied by roars. The woman's legs went weak with fear. Ignoring her, I went to the door and opened it. The woman, seeing this, wailed no. The woman, who had just stood up, collapsed to the ground again. Immediately, 2 insect-like mutated monsters lunged in with sharp claws. My katana flashed, accompanied by a cold light and 2 streaks of blood, and the monsters' heads were instantly separated from their bodies. The woman was stunned, then her eyes lit up with hope, and she scrambled to her feet, running towards me. Please, take me with you. What are you? I glanced at her coldly. I won't take you. Exchange your body? Get out. The woman screamed in despair, bastard. You won't help, I curse you to die a horrible death. The elevator arrived at the 1st floor, and the doors slowly opened, revealing 4 monsters. Seeing someone in the elevator, they roared excitedly and lunged. I stepped forward and sliced each one down effortlessly, like cutting watermelons. Master, where are we going? Little Yao asked. To subdue an underground gang. One person's power is ultimately limited. The gang I want to subdue has 6 or 7 super warriors. I walked out of the Royal Sky Building and disappeared into the night in a few flashes. As I devoured the corpses of the mutated monsters, my stomach gradually filled. If I wanted to devour mutated monsters like this, it would be equivalent to eating the mutated monsters of the entire world. A look of surprise flashed across my face. I might not even be human anymore. Ever since I released the 2 dragons behind me, even the mutated monsters passing by didn't dare to attack me, instead fleeing for their lives. But although my stomach was no longer hungry, I was still thirsty. As I was about to go look for some water, I suddenly heard a burst of gunfire from the street in the distance. In the dark of night, I disappeared into the alley in a few steps, heading towards the sound of gunfire. I saw 20 or 30 fully armed soldiers outside the supermarket door, frantically shooting at the swarms of mutated monsters sweeping in from all directions. The sound of gunfire and the monsters' roars blended together. Fire! Don't anyone be afraid, don't waste bullets, aim for their heads. Clear out these monsters, then close the supermarket's iron gates and wait for the main force to rescue us. The captain shouted. Faced with so many mutated monsters that seemed impossible to kill, some even requiring dozens of shots to kill, the soldiers were panicking. Suddenly, a sharp tentacle shot out from the darkness, piercing through 3 or 4 soldiers in a row, then dragging them away in one fell swoop. Not good. There are stronger mutated monsters in the shadows. The captain's expression was grim as he threw 2 grenades at the dark area and fired wildly. Inside the supermarket, over 100 survivors huddled together, trembling as they listened to the gunfire and the monsters' roars outside. Just as this team of 20 or 30 soldiers was about to run out of ammunition and food, the monsters besieging them suddenly stopped their advance, then scattered with a rustling sound, all looking towards a dark area. What's going on? Could it be that an even more terrifying monster is about to attack us? Upon seeing this, the soldiers felt their scalps tingle, their hands holding the guns trembled slightly, and the muzzles were aimed at the dark area. After a moment, they were stunned because what came into view was not a monster, but a person with a normal human body, but with 2 hideous black dragons on his back. Are you human or monster? The captain aimed his gun at me and roared. Human and monster. I won't hurt you, just here to ask for a drink of water. I walked towards the supermarket, passing the monster horde. Having devoured so many mutated monsters, my body is like a dragon's, bullets can't penetrate it at all. Therefore, facing 20 or 30 gun muzzles, I acted as if I didn't see them. If they dared to shoot at me, I would kill them all in an instant. Captain He seems to be before the mutation, that madman who killed a security guard and young Master Lin at the school gate. At this moment, a soldier whispered in their captain's ear. What, it's him. In that case, this person is indeed not a monster. The captain was surprised and overjoyed at the same time, signaling everyone to lower their guns, and stepped forward with a smile. What's your name, young brother? I'm Wu Rue, the captain of this team. Don't be so polite, the reason I'm here is just to get a bottle of water. Gu Qijue glanced at these soldiers indifferently and walked straight towards the supermarket. Xiaoyao devouring mutated monsters can fill his stomach, but it seems to make him very thirsty. This is indeed a big problem. Young man, we're here to rescue a big shot, you. Captain Wu Rue followed behind Gu Qijue, hesitating to speak. What does it have to do with me? I'll leave after taking a bottle of water. Gu Qijue chuckled and said coldly. Entering the supermarket, he saw more than 100 survivors, all looking at him with fear in their eyes. Gu Qijue ignored them and went straight to the freezer, took out a bottle of mineral water, twisted open the cap and gulped it down. Gu Qijue frowned. A bottle of water went down, but it didn't quench his thirst at all. What's going on? He took out several more bottles and drank them. Only after 20 or so bottles did Gu Qijue feel a bit satisfied. Monster! The soldiers and survivors present looked at him as if they were looking at a monster. Gu Qijue stopped only after drinking until he was 70% full. Ha ha ha! I have awakened the powerful super weapon armor. Just then, a wild laugh came from among the survivors. Hearing this, everyone looked over. They saw a thin man, who was now looking excitedly at the blue 9-pointed star pattern in his palm. Deep blue armor, attach. He laughed loudly, and suddenly a set of deep blue armor covered his entire body in the blink of an eye. Super weapon armor. What's going on? Everyone looked on, all with expressions of shock and incomprehension. You inhuman monster, kneel before me. The man in super armor stared coldly at Gu Qijue. Oh. You want to kill me? Gu Qijue cast a playful, sinister gaze, licked his lips wickedly, revealing a hint of cruelty. He really didn't expect that a mere newly awakened super warrior would dare to provoke him. Inside the supermarket, Gu Qijue finally met his first super warrior. Moreover, he came up wanting to kill him. From the moment you walked in, I've disliked you, you monster. Everyone, step aside, let me kill him. The man in deep-sea armor flicked his hand, and a lightsaber appeared in his palm. This is super armor, not only unparalleled in strength and defense, but also able to summon weapons out of thin air. In his previous life, Gu Qijue was extremely envious of these super warriors. He only felt that their super armor was too cool. However, that was only in his previous life. Now, despite being in a flesh and blood body, he is incredibly powerful. Naive calf, it seems you don't know what kind of existence you are facing. Gu Qijue stared at the latter playfully, his sinister blood-red eyes looking at a dead man. If I turned into a monster like you, I would definitely commit suicide. Die! The deep blue armored man roared and slashed at Gu Qijue with the lightsaber in his hand. Die! Gu Qijue coldly uttered a single word of death, and the twin dragons behind him roared and soared out like two streaks of black light. The left dragon bit his lightsaber, while the right dragon instantly opened its bloody mouth and bit the armored man's neck with a snap. In an instant, the lightsaber in the armored man's hand shattered, and the neck covered with biological armor also shattered with a popping and cracking sound. Suddenly, blood splattered. The armor on the latter's body dissipated, and the entire head separated from the body. Ah! Such a bloody scene frightened many women into screaming. Even Captain Wu Rue gasped. I can be humanity's enemy, or I cannot be, it all depends on humanity's decision. With a sneer, Gu Qijue turned and left. Wu Rue looked at his departing back, opened his mouth as if to speak, but in the end, he watched him leave. After he left the supermarket, they immediately closed the iron door. Gu Qijue had indirectly saved them. The monsters that had gathered outside the gate had now disappeared without a trace. This was because, in the eyes of these mutated monsters, Gu Qijue was a member of their kind with a life level so high that it was terrifying. No monster dared to act presumptuously where he appeared. Unless it was a mutated monster of equally high life level, they all devoured each other to evolve. Gu Qijue walked out of the supermarket and looked towards a dark shadow. Suddenly, a behemoth slowly emerged from the dark shadow. It was a terrifying monster that was 10 feet tall, covered in black tentacles on its back with 9 claws, 6 legs, and eyes on its abdomen. A shrill laughter echoed from the monster's mouth as its long, slender tongue licked its disgusting lips, its eyes fixed on Gu Qijue as if he were a delicious dish on the table. With a sudden roar, dozens of sharp, scaled tentacles on its back shot out towards Gu Qijue with bullet-like speed. Gu Qijue smirked wickedly, and with a resounding boom, the floor beneath him shattered, and he vanished from sight. Whoosh! He reappeared close to the tentacled monster. With a clang, his katana was drawn, its blade infused with violent black dragon power. With a tearing sound, the blade flashed like a shadow, and the monster's enormous body was sliced in two by Gu Qijue in a single strike. Xiaoyao excitedly rushed forward for a feast. As Xiaoyao devoured the monster's flesh, Gu Qijue could feel the power of the warm current within him increasing. After consuming the monster's flesh and blood, Gu Qijue's figure quickly disappeared into the night. Ha ha ha! Boss, look who I've brought back. In Jin City, the largest underground gang operated an underground boxing arena. At this moment, a burly man in earth yellow armor strode in, carrying an 18 or 19-year-old woman with a beautiful face and a graceful figure on his shoulder. Yo, second, not bad. You actually managed to kidnap Chu Beishuan's daughter. A bald tattooed strongman who was drinking at the front desk grinned lewdly and said that Chu Beishuan has been exploiting us for years. It's time to teach him a lesson. The Chu Beishuan he spoke of was Yun City's richest man with immense power. Their Black Dragon gang had always been living under his oppression. Ha ha! Congratulations, boss, you've got yourself a sister-in-law. This apocalypse is great. This is the era we've been longing for. Those guys who throw their weight around just because they have money should all be chopped up. Boss, just marry this little beauty and send the video of your wedding night to Chu Beishuan. Ha ha ha! The three thugs present, who had also awakened super martial arts, laughed excitedly. Do you really think I'm that easy to bully? Just then, Chu Mingxi, who was being carried by the Black Dragon Gang's second in command, had a frosty look on her icy face and shouted, Super martial armor, ice and snow, equip. In an instant, a set of silver-white ice and snow armor covered her body. You have super martial armor too? The Black Dragon Gang's second in command was taken aback and flung her away with a mighty heave of his arms. Chu Mingxi flipped several times in the air, landing firmly on the ground. It's bad, boss, there's a humanoid monster killing its way in. The third boss was killed in one hit. Just then, a Black Dragon Gang underling rushed in through the door, his face filled with terror. Bang! As soon as the underling entered, a scarred man covered in blood was thrown in from outside like a cannonball. Who? The Black Dragon Gang leader's expression changed, and a set of black tiger armor instantly covered his entire body. At the same time, the several gang leaders present also activated the super pattern in their palms, combined into armor, and stared at the door intently. What came into view was an evil man with white hair and blood-red eyes, with two ferocious dragons on his back, and filled with terrifying viciousness. Guchiju strode in, glanced around the people present, his eyes fell on the water dispenser not far away, and walked straight towards it, as if he didn't see the people in armor. Arriving at the water dispenser, he directly picked up the water bucket and gulped down the water. The reason he was so thirsty was because of the heat flow when Xiao Yao devoured the abnormal organism. During evolution, a large amount of water is absorbed from his body. After Guchiju had his fill, he dropped the water bucket in his hand, looked at the super warrior present, and beckoned to them, "Let's go together. If you lose, you only need to be my servant, remember, it's a servant, not a subordinate." Arrogant. The Black Dragon Gang leader said in a deep voice, "Are you a human or a monster?" "It's you." Chu Monshi recognized Guchiju. This evening at the school gate, she personally witnessed this man kill Lin Shuyun and beat a security guard to death. Why waste so much nonsense with this monster? Kill it. The fourth gang leader shouted loudly, sacrificed the lightsaber of his armor, and charged over with a bang. Guchiju looked at the fiercely attacking fourth gang leader of the Black Dragon Gang. Although his speed was very fast, almost cutting in front of him in the blink of an eye. However, in Guchiju's eyes, it was as slow as a snail. He didn't dodge, but directly raised his hand and grabbed the lightsaber that the latter had slashed down with a bang, and then kicked it out fiercely. Bang! Crack! The terrifying power of Guchiju's kick blasted the armor on the fourth gang leader of the Black Dragon Gang, and then flew out like a cannonball, hitting the wall hard and dying. Dead? Sorry, I didn't control my strength well. Feeling the lifelessness of the fourth gang leader, Guchiju crushed the lightsaber in his hand, looked at the others, and said, "What about you? Do you want to experience my power too?" The Black Dragon Gang leader, 5th gang leader, 6th gang leader, and Chu Mingxi present all looked at Guchiju with fear. "What exactly do you want to do?" The Black Dragon Gang leader's voice trembled slightly. Being able to kill his fourth brother so easily, they added together are probably not a match for this man. Didn't I just say it? Be my servant. Guchiju stretched lazily and said lightly, "My patience is limited, make a decision within a minute." Why does he want to subdue the Black Dragon Gang? The reason is very simple. He needs to go out and hunt down abnormal organism to devour. But he needs water. He must have someone to collect pure water for him. If not, he wouldn't be so troublesome, he would have gone to the largest zoo in Yun City long ago and killed the Monkey King to devour it. What are the benefits? Black Dragon Gang leader Zhao Hu said in a low voice. Guchiju went straight to the sofa on the side and sat down, took out a cigarette, lit it, and said faintly, "Become my servant, and I will take care of you from now on, and you only need to collect pure water for me." Okay. My Black Dragon Gang is willing to serve you. Knowing that he had no way out, Zhao Hu led Lao Wu and Lao Lu to bow deeply to Guchiju. Very good. What about you? Guchiju's eyes fell on Chu Mingxi. A set of silver-white, extremely beautiful armor covered her graceful and curvy body, and the curves were very perfect. Chu Mingxi shook her head and said, "I was kidnapped here by them, not a member of their Black Dragon Gang." Guchiju glanced at her and said coldly, "No matter who you are, since you are here, and you are still a super warrior, you can only become my servant." If the other party was not a super warrior, Guchiju would never have given her a second glance. Chu Mingxi felt a burst of bitterness, and had no doubt that if she refused, the consequences would be disastrous. "You what?" Guchiju raised his head slightly, looking at her coldly. "Willing." Chu Mingxi spat out two words helplessly. "Very good, if you dare to run away, I guarantee that I will find you even if it's to the ends of the earth, and then I'll devour you alive." As Gu Qiju spoke, the ferocious twin dragons behind him let out a brutal roar. In his previous life of 8 years, he had lived under the domination of others for 6 years. Now dominating the life and death of others is really wonderful, and the feeling is beyond words. Xu Mingxi felt that he was saying this to herself, and immediately stated, "I wouldn't dare, Master, I want to go home now, please allow me." She was worried about her family, and now that she had awakened as a super warrior, she definitely had to go back and take a look. Granted, this will be our base from now on. As long as you can collect enough pure water, I won't interfere with your freedom, and if you encounter danger, you can contact me at any time. Gu Qiju took a deep puff of his cigarette and said lightly, "If you have the ability, you can bring in more super warriors. In this doomsday, having a master like me who is invincible is always better with more people." "Yes, then I'll go home first," Xu Mingxi said, leaving without looking back. "Master, I feel like she's gone for good." After Xu Mingxi left, Zhao Hu stepped forward and said this. "People who want to die can't be stopped." Gu Qiju snuffed out the cigarette in his hand and said lightly, "That's right." Zhao Hu was full of reverence and said in a low voice, "Master, the way you are, did you successfully resist the distortion?" "That's awesome. No one can resist the distortion." Gu Qiju didn't talk nonsense with him and said indifferently, "Prepare a room for me, I want to take a shower." He had been sweating all day and felt uncomfortable all over. While the water hadn't stopped, he should wash up properly. "Yes, Master, follow me." Zhao Hu led the way and said, "Lao Wu, Lao Lu, you immediately go and gather the brothers of the gang and collect as much pure water as possible." "All right." Zhang Feng and Li Si left after collecting the bodies of third brother and fourth brother. This is the apocalypse. Life is cheap. The Black Dragon Gang has over 100 members, but more than half are also mutated. There are a total of 8 super warrior, now 2 are dead, leaving 6, Zhao Hu, Li Si, Zhang Feng, Deng Tian, Wu Jiao, and Tang Huang. Deng Tian, Wu Jiao, and Tang Huang are still out searching for supplies and haven't returned. Otherwise, perhaps another one would have died. By now, wave after wave of super warriors are awakening. And after resolving the internal mutated individuals, the Imperial Army has also begun large-scale operations to rescue survivors. In the night sky above Yun City, bomber after bomber can occasionally be seen cutting through the darkness. But they are also ambushed by mutated insects and birds. A moment of carelessness can lead to the loss of both aircraft and crew. Throughout Yun City, fires rage everywhere as the army's tanks, armored vehicles, and helicopters are fully deployed. Many awakened super warriors among humans have joined the army to rescue survivors. And within the army, there are also awakened super warriors. Battles between humans and mutated monsters are visible everywhere in the city. Even super warriors are in danger if they encounter a true seed-level mutated beast. Among mutated monsters, there are different levels. Common, Calamity Seed, True Seed, Variant Seed, Evil Seed, Catastrophe. Ordinary mutated monsters can be killed with firearms. But encountering a Calamity Seed is more difficult. True Seeds are even more terrifying, possessing rudimentary intelligence and able to command ordinary mutated creatures. Variant Seed level beings are like lords among the mutated creatures. Evil Seed level beings are equivalent to kings among the mutated creatures. A king's wrath brings 1,000,000 corpses. And the final catastrophe level mutated creatures, like Black Mamba, are at this level. These are true overlords existing without natural enemies. Once a catastrophe level mutated creature appears, it is a devastating disaster for humanity. In Gu Qijua's previous life, a shelter with 1,000,000 survivors was destroyed by a catastrophe-level mutated creature. Countless human super warriors died or were injured before barely managing to repel it. Within the catastrophe level, there are also varying degrees of strength. The black dragon transformed from the black mamba that Gu Qiju emerged with is an absolute overlord among the catastrophe level, a being truly without natural enemies. Neither mutated creatures nor human super warriors pose any threat to it. 2 moons hang in the sky, the night vast and desolate. Across the nation's lands, all kinds of mutated monsters run rampant. Nearly 70% of humans, animals, plants, insects, etc. have mutated. This terrifying ratio means that 7 out of 10 living beings have mutated. The Imperial Army has also suffered heavy losses. Some city war zones have even fallen, becoming the domain of mutated creatures. Faced with mutated monsters, even ordinary ones are beyond the ability of ordinary people to handle. New God Group building. Boom! Bang! Roar, roar, roar! More than a dozen super warriors are clearing out the constantly surging mutated monsters around them. The leading super weapon warrior was clad in a gluttonous armor, wielding a heavy halberd, sweeping across the monster horde. Almost no mutated monster could withstand a single blow from him. Chairman, this is not a solution. There are too many monsters, we can't possibly kill them all. A woman in flame armor fought her way to the gluttonous armor warrior's side, battling alongside him. She said, "Our brothers are running out of stamina, we should retreat back to the underground shelter." Alas! Mengshi, I can only wait for you until now, Dad. The gluttonous armor warrior sighed helplessly. The reason he came out to clear the monsters near the building was to wait for his daughter to return. Now it seems his daughter has already perished in the mouths of monsters. Whoosh! Just as the gluttonous armor warrior was about to issue the order to retreat, a woman in ice armor suddenly emerged from the darkness. She wielded an ice bow, and each draw released several ice arrows. Who are you? Have you seen my dad? Shu Mengshi fought her way back with difficulty. When she saw more than a dozen super weapon warriors fighting monsters, she joined them and shouted. Everyone was wearing super weapon armor, and she had no idea what anyone looked like, hence the question. Having carefully fought her way back from the underground boxing arena, Shu Mengshi was somewhat exhausted. What she saw on the way back was all kinds of mutated monsters. Ha ha! Good Mengshi, you've actually become a super weapon warrior and returned. Retreat. Hearing this, the gluttonous armor warrior immediately issued the order to retreat. He stayed behind to cover the retreat, the last one to enter the building. He whooshed into the elevator just as the doors were about to close completely. Inside the elevator, everyone removed their armor's helmets. Dad! Are Mom and my sister doing okay? Seeing that her father was unharmed and had awakened an even more powerful super weapon armor than hers, Shu Mengshi was overjoyed. They're all fine in the underground shelter. Shu Beixian breathed a slight sigh of relief. He was a man who looked only in his early 30s, with handsome, aloof features that gave off a very strong sense of oppressive power. The new God Group, with a market value of 500 billion, Chairman Shu Beixian, was also a nationally renowned business tycoon. Underneath the group's building was an underground shelter capable of withstanding nuclear war. Not to mention behemoths like the new God building, even billion-dollar group company buildings basically had shelters. These wealthy people were very afraid of death, always preparing for the arrival of nuclear war. Now, nuclear war had not come, but the apocalypse had, which could be considered a blessing in disguise. The underground shelter of the new God building was built very luxuriously, like a large underground research institute, enough to accommodate thousands of people. Sumu, go and sort out the supplies in the shelter, and see how long they will last for more than 100 of us. After descending into the shelter, Shu Beixian instructed. All right. The woman in flame armor nodded and left. Mengshi, let's go meet your mother and sister. Shu Beixian then led his daughter towards the depths of the shelter. Dad! I can't stay here for too long. Shu Mengshi concisely recounted her encounter with Gu Qijue. Oh, so there's such a person. But now that you're back, there's no need to pay him any attention. How dare he want my daughter as a servant? After listening, Shu Beixian's deep eyes revealed a hint of murderous intent. This person is ruthless. If I don't go back, I'm afraid it will bring trouble here. Shu Mengshi frowned slightly. Actually, she didn't want to go back, but thinking of that man's terror, she hesitated. Don't overthink it. Leave this matter to Dad. Shu Beixian patted her fragrant shoulder and said, How dare someone want my daughter, Shu Beixian's, as a servant? He deserves to die. Late at night, after rescuing many survivors in Yun City, the Empire's army began to gradually retreat due to severe losses and heavy casualties among the superpowered warriors. They had truly done their best and wanted to rescue more survivors. However, their ammunition was running out, and they had no choice but to retreat first. The Yun City war zone had truly done its best. Facing so many monsters, they also found it difficult to move forward. As time goes on, only when more superpowered individuals awaken can they achieve a larger-scale rescue. In his previous life, Gu Chijue could only live in a shelter built by superpowered individuals, living a life like an animal, without being rescued. Underground boxing arena. Master, I feel like we can't stay in the city for too long. Food will eventually run out, but the apocalypse won't disappear because of it. I know there's a military base outside the west suburbs. Let's grab some seeds first and then attack that military base. Zhao Hu brought Gu Chijue a bucket of mineral water and said, the city has a dense population, which leads to more mutated monsters. It's not a place for long-term survival. He was definitely not the only one with this idea. The apocalypse is long, but food is limited. Only self-sufficiency can lead to long-term survival. Why leave? The left black dragon behind Gu Chijue rolled the bucket to his mouth and began to gulp down the water. He wasn't wearing a shirt right now either. Although he could restrain the two dragons on his back, letting them out would cause his clothes to explode, so there was no need to wear them. Isn't leaving a good thing? Zhao Hu hesitated. Only fools would leave. After the mutated creatures die, the earth absorbs their blood, and it will grow a fruit that you can take to improve your superpowered mark. Gu Chijue stood up and said lightly, this fruit is very important. It will only exist for 12 hours. Once the time passes, they will turn into mutant-level mutated monsters. So our superpowered marks can still evolve. Then we really can't leave. Zhao Hu's heart stirred when he heard this. This is also one of the resources we need to fight for. That's natural. Remember to mobilize everyone to find the water source. When the time comes, I will get you enough mutated fruits. With that, Gu Chijue stood up and said, I should go devour mutated creatures to evolve now. You guys go and grab supplies. If that woman doesn't come back tomorrow, she'll probably be dead. In his previous life, Gu Chijue had fantasized countless times about walking outside without being attacked by mutated monsters. Now, he has finally done it. In the Dark City, wherever he went, ordinary and true species-level monsters all avoided him in fear. Only alien species-level mutated creatures dared to attack him. Put. On the way to the largest zoo in Yun City, Gu Chijue consecutively killed 3 alien species-level monsters outside a high school. Is that also a monster? How can it be so powerful? When he came just now, the other monsters ran away like crazy. This guy is probably an even more terrifying mutated creature. Yeah. Let's not act rashly. The super warriors hiding in the school were all horrified when they witnessed Gu Chijue killing 3 alien species creatures that could instantly kill them. With 2 dragons behind him, blood-red pupils and white hair, and able to scare mutated monsters who would consider him a human. While the 2 dragons devoured the 3 alien species creatures on the ground, Gu Chijue's gaze turned towards the high school. In his previous life, he vaguely remembered that there were several extraordinary super warriors in this high school. Especially one named Ji Shang, whose awakened super warrior armor was very powerful. Ji Shang, come out. Gu Chijue raised his voice and shouted towards the school. Recruiting some powerful super warriors is a very necessary thing. Although Gu Chijue is strong, there are many venerable beings in the ocean in the later stages. Black Dragon is not afraid in a one-on-one fight, but if surrounded, he can only flee in embarrassment. In addition, Gu Chijue doesn't know whether his potential after merging with Xiaoyao has decreased or increased. Therefore, being able to recruit some powerful super warriors is naturally for the best. Brother Ji, he's calling you? Inside the gate, 3 people were hiding, the leader wearing a set of Shura armor. The other 2 wore Black Crow armor and Firebird armor, respectively. These 3 are the strongest in this high school. He knows me? Ji Shang, who had awakened the Shura super warrior, looked at the white-haired man outside the school gate and hesitated for a moment. He called your name directly, how could he not know you? The Black Crow armored warrior said in this case, he shouldn't be a real mutated monster. Should we meet him? You guys wait here, I'll go meet him. Ji Shang thought for a moment, then pushed the door open and walked straight to the school gate. Looking at the man with 2 dragons on his back, he asked loudly, you know me? I've heard of you. Gu Qijue smiled slightly and said, how about taking the super warriors from your school to follow me? You're not a super warrior, why are you so powerful? Ji Shang didn't give him an answer right away, but asked this instead. It's too outrageous in his opinion that he could kill 3 mutated monsters, each of which could slaughter him, with his own flesh and blood. These mutated monsters are not superhumans, so how could they kill you? Gu Qijue said with a faint smile, the Azura superpower you awakened is actually very strong, but it's only 1 star. These 3 alien creatures are already tier 2. According to the tier classification, Gu Qijue should also be tier 2 now. However, once he swallows that outstanding evil spawn Monkey King, he will definitely be promoted to tier 3. This Ji Shang paused and said hesitantly, you seem to know a lot. I can follow you, but there are 38 students and 21 awakened ones in the school. With so many monsters outside, what do you plan to do? We have food and drinks in the school, so what's the point of doing anything? Gu Qijue said lightly, I didn't let you leave, so you just live here. I will help you if you're in trouble, provided that you all listen to me. Okay, then can you tell me how to improve the star level of my superpower? Ji Shang took a deep look at Gu Qijue and found that this person was very unusual. Gu Qijue said calmly. There are 2 ways. First, wait for daytime and absorb the sunlight. I don't need to tell you this, you will know tomorrow. Second, take mutated fruits. After all mutated creatures die, the earth will absorb their blood. When the sun shines on the earth, mutated trees will grow. As long as you take the mutated fruits on them, you can improve your superpower star level. I'm going to the largest zoo in Yuncheng. After I come back, I will take you to pick mutated fruits tomorrow. After saying that, Gu Qijue did not stay here any longer. If he's too late and the Monkey King is promoted to tier 3, it might be a bit tricky. Watching his figure disappear into the night, Ji Shang's eyes flickered, and he muttered to himself, what kind of existence is he? All mutated creatures seem to be afraid of this person. As Gu Qijue left this area, the mutated creatures nearby began to approach again. He is simply the ultimate boss in the apocalypse, whether for humans or mutated creatures. Master, we can live well on our own, why bother collecting so many people? On the way to the zoo, Xiaoyao's puzzled voice sounded. Xiaoyao, in your previous life, it was because you were too arrogant and looked down on all living beings that you were besieged by the 5 overlords in the ocean. Although you killed 2, you almost lost your life to escape. Gu Qijue said, the Azura superpower that Ji Shang awakened belongs to the saint rank, corresponding to the calamity level, and is one of the pillars of humanity's future. Although it's not as good as you were in your previous life, it's still a helper. Oh whoa! Suddenly, a mutated monster blocked Gu Qijue's path. When other mutated monsters saw it, they fled like rabbits encountering a tiger. The mutated creature blocking the way is not a monster, but a white fox with 9 tails, larger than a water buffalo. Oh, an evil spawn? Gu Qiju looked at the fox blocking the way not far away and said with an evil smile, it's actually you, this white fox. The wisdom of evil seed-level aberrant creatures is no less than that of humans, and they can even transform into various forms. Gu Qiju naturally knew this white fox. In her previous life, it caused a lot of trouble for human superhumans. It was extremely cunning, and in the mid-apocalypse, it somehow evolved into a calamity-level creature. She didn't expect to encounter it here. Squeak! You hussy fox, where are you running? Obediently become this king's concubine, and I'll spare your life. Just then, in the darkness in the distance, a tall figure approached rapidly. Gu Qiju looked up, her eyes narrowing slightly. It was actually a calamity-level creature, the Rat King. Although this guy is the weakest among the calamity-level creatures, it can't withstand the fact that he commands hundreds of millions of rats. However, it doesn't have that many underlings now. Squeak squeak. With the appearance of the Rat King, pairs of scarlet eyes appeared in the darkness all around. Not running? The Rat King, emerging from the darkness, stood upright in a semi-human form over 10 feet tall, gnawing on a human arm in its claws. Calamity-level creatures are also divided into strong and weak, and it seems that the Rat King is one of the weakest. But it is still stronger than an evil spirit-level creature. Hundreds of aberrant rats, drooling, surrounded Gu Chi Ju and the White Fox. The Rat King entered the scene gnawing on a human arm. When it saw another creature that looked like a human and also like a monster, it was slightly stunned. It narrowed its eyes at Gu Chi Ju and asked, "Who are you?" From this creature, whether monster or perhaps human, it sensed a suppression in its bloodline. "Black Dragon, save me!" The White Fox in front of Gu Chi Ju, with a surge of light, transformed into a woman wearing a white fox fur dress, with silver hair reaching her waist, breathtakingly beautiful, and with 9 tails. In her opinion, Gu Chi Ju must be a member of her kind who evolved into a dragon and turned into this form. Therefore, she also transformed. "Brother, I advise you not to meddle in other people's business. This hussy fox is mine." The Rat King narrowed its eyes at Gu Chi Ju. "Let's mind our own business, you go." "Go? Wouldn't it be a pity not to devour you?" Gu Chi Ju licked her lips, a bloodthirsty smile appearing on her face. At the same time, dragon horns grew on her head, a dragon tail grew from her tailbone, dragon scales appeared on the surface of her skin, and 2 sharp dragon teeth grew in her mouth. This Rat King was actually at the 3rd order. Gu Chi Ju, only at the 2nd order, had to adopt her strongest battle form. "Go, my little ones!" The Rat King didn't waste any words, ordering its hundreds of rat minions to lead the charge. "Black Dragon, leave these little rats to me. You go and kill that Rat King, and I'll follow you from now on." The White Fox grew fangs in her mouth, her hands turned into sharp claws, and she met the surrounding rushing rat monsters. "Black Dragon King, is it worth fighting this hard for a fox?" The Rat King said coldly. "Why waste so much talk, come and fight." Gu Chi Ju's eyes flashed with bloody light, black gas emerged from his mouth, and with a bang, he shattered the floor under his feet and rushed over. With a clang, the katana in his hand was unsheathed, the blade covered with the violent power of the Black Dragon. Courting death. The Rat King let out a long howl, its pride not allowing it to leave in such a disgraceful manner. Bang! Boom! Dragon and rat collided, the katana and rat claws clashing, actually producing the sound of metal striking metal. Cold light flickered, the blade's aura was overwhelming. In the first exchange, the Rat King was blasted back several meters, while Gu Chi Ju left 2 deep knife marks on its chest. Roar! The Rat King roared in fury, unwilling to admit defeat, and charged at Gu Chi Ju again, waving its claws. Alas! Although there is the blessing of dragon power, the weapon is still a bit lacking. Gu Chi Ju sighed. If he had a super-powered armor weapon in his hand, those 2 strikes just now could have caused deeper damage to the Rat King. Even missiles might not be able to break through the Rat King's skin. The reason Gu Chi Ju was able to break its defenses was all thanks to the Black Dragon power attached to the blade. Bang! Clang! Boom! Rumble! Gu Chi Ju was incredibly strong and his physical body was unparalleled. He could swing the katana in his hands several times per second. Black blade energy crisscrossed in front of him, and he was brave, invincible, and charged forward, causing the Rat King to retreat again and again, with bloody marks appearing on its tall body. The power of the dragon is domineering, vast, and magnificent, representing invincibility. A mere rat, even at the calamity level, even 1 rank higher than Gu Chi Ju, was now being beaten so badly that it could only parry and not counterattack. The 2 dragons behind Gu Chi Ju would also occasionally launch surprise attacks, biting off chunks of flesh from the Rat King. How can this guy be so strong when he's a rank lower than me? Is this what a dragon is? After only a short exchange, the Rat King, covered in injuries, felt a chill in its heart, let out a roar, and tried to run away. Stay! Gu Chi Ju shouted in a low voice, fully operating the Black Dragon power in his body, and swung 5 times in 1 second. Immediately, 5 violent blade rays broke through the air and slashed over. Damn it! Feeling the sharp blade rays whistling behind him, the Rat King cursed and turned around to wave its claws to block. With a few bangs, 2 of its claws were almost chopped off. In that instant, Guchijua rushed over with his blade again, and with a poof, slashed across the Rat King's chest, leaving a long trail of blood. Roar! The Rat King roared in pain, its body swelling in size, its claws turning into a foot long, and a rotten energy emanating from its body, shooting out several claw rays. Guchijua slashed open with his blade, and with a bang, stepped forward and slashed fiercely across the Rat King's waist with his blade. The 2 dragons behind him simultaneously launched a surprise attack, biting off a large chunk of flesh from its shoulder. Ah! The Rat King roared in pain, and with a whoosh, transformed back into its original form, fleeing at top speed. But how could Guchijua let it leave alive, and chased after it? Swallowing a calamity-level Rat King would be of great benefit to him. The rat and the dragon quickly disappeared into the distance. Baihu, who was dealing with the remaining rat monsters, looked at them leaving in the distance, wanting to leave, but after thinking about it, still chose not to go. Thinking that the black dragon didn't say anything and just went up and fought the Rat King. If I left now, I fear the next time we meet, he would kill me without hesitation. It's not wise to provoke such a terrifying enemy. Just as the white fox finished dealing with the hundreds of rat monsters here, a figure rapidly approached in the darkness. It was Guchijua returning. His aura was much stronger than before. Clearly, he had broken through to the 3rd tier after devouring the Rat King. Right now, he only felt a burst of thirst. I thought you had run away. Seeing the white fox was still there, Guchijua was somewhat surprised. The white fox, with her bare, pure white and crystalline feet, walked gracefully towards him, expressing her gratitude. Since Big Brother Black Dragon risked his life to save me from the Rat King, how could I dare to run away like that? Guchijua sized her up, realizing that this fox demon was truly captivating. Master, your thoughts are a bit wicked, Xiaoyao's voice echoed in his mind at this moment. Dragons are inherently lustful, damn it, it's your genes acting up. I don't feel anything for human women, but I actually have these urges when I see this monster-like creature. Guchijua directly blamed Xiaoyao. This was the honest truth. The woman who offered her body in exchange for him taking her away, even when he saw her pale white body, Guchijua didn't feel much. But this fox demon gave him a certain impulse. Am I really no longer human? Guchijua smiled wryly in his heart. Alright, blame it all on me, Xiaoyao couldn't help but retort. Big Brother Black Dragon, then I will follow you from now on. The white fox's vermilion lips were delicate, her pretty face exquisitely charming, her autumn water-like beautiful eyes seemed to drip with charming, her figure was slender, curvy, and her voice was soft, absolutely lethal. Guchijua suppressed the impulses of his body's genes and said, then let's go, follow me to a place. With that, he turned and strode quickly towards the direction of the zoo. Go to a place? Could it be that he wants to do something to me? The white fox bit her delicate lip and followed closely behind him into the distance. It was a little after 1 in the morning. In the darkness, the white fox followed Guchijua with trepidation. As they walked further and further, the white fox realized that she had overthought things. Immediately she stepped forward a few paces, came to Guchijua's side, and asked, Big Brother Black Dragon, where are we going? I feel like we should be devouring more to enhance our strength. Devouring small fry won't improve us much. I know a monkey zoo with at least 2 or 30 alien-level creatures, 3 evil spirits-level creatures, and 1 evil spirits-level top-tier mutated monkey. Let's go devour them first. Guchijua's running speed was extremely fast, almost reaching 80 kilometers per hour. He had to become stronger this night. Big Brother Black Dragon, that place has already become a large-scale shelter, the white fox informed him. What did you say? Guchijua didn't react for a moment upon hearing this. As far as he knew, it shouldn't be possible for anyone to build a shelter at that monkey zoo. What exactly was going on? Guchijua quickly searched through the memories in his mind. But he found that he had no such memory. The white fox shook its head and said, I don't know either. I just came from over there. It's a fortress-like shelter, covered with power grids in the sky, and the walls are as high as 200 meters. We can't get in at all. I didn't get the memories from before my rebirth. Could it be that someone like me has been reborn and is also a person with great financial resources? Gu Chijue couldn't help but suspect that someone like him had been reborn. He wanted to see what kind of shelter it was. If possible, could he attack it and take it for himself? In the apocalypse, no one talks to you about morality, order, or law. Everything is based on the strength of your fist. About 10 minutes. As expected. The place ahead used to be a zoo. Now it has become an apocalyptic fortress-like building. The thick walls, as high as 200 meters, are probably impenetrable even to 6th or 7th order mutated monsters. Moreover, on top of the walls, not only are there wind turbines for power generation, but also a 100,000-volt power grid covering the area. To build such a large fortress covering 40 to 50,000 square meters, wouldn't that cost billions? Humans are really amazing. This shelter is simply a work of art, the white fox said with some envy. Outside the walls of the shelter, there were thousands of mutated monsters surrounding it, howling. They tried to climb up, but after only climbing 10 meters, they were electrocuted to a crisp by the electrified iron plates on the walls. In the sky, avian and insect mutated creatures tried to rush in, but were blocked by the power grid, causing sparks to fly everywhere. Who is it? Gu Chijue frowned slightly, took out his phone from his pocket, glanced at the time, and suddenly realized that there was actually a network connection showing a satellite network. This surprised him even more. He remembered that in his previous life, the empire was paralyzed and the satellite network was only activated after more than half a month. The various bizarre events made Gu Chijue feel very strange. Could it be that the owner of this shelter informed the empire about the mutated apocalypse in advance? Only this could explain why the satellite network was activated so quickly. 1m-long. Sure enough, Gu Chijue had just finished looking at his phone. Suddenly, hundreds of fighter jets from outside the city roared into Yun City, and then turned on thermal imaging radar scanning. Under the thermal imaging radar scan, humans and monsters were easily distinguished. Boom, boom, boom. The fighter jets avoided the areas where survivors were gathered and began bombing. Ga. However, the aircraft were soon attacked by flying mutated monsters. Covering the sky and the earth, all kinds of hideous birds and insects swept towards the aircraft like they didn't care about their lives. For a time, fire blazed, and fighter jets soon crashed. So this apocalypse, with one more reborn person, seems to be different from my previous life. Gu Chijue looked at the fire-filled sky, shook his head, opened his phone, entered Tiger Voice, and searched for the Yun City Zoo shelter. Related videos immediately popped up. These were videos from 2 months ago. Mu Qingxue, chairwoman of Haingyu Group, spent 100 million to purchase the largest monkey zoo in Yun City and built a large shelter within 2 short months. This woman is almost certainly a reborner, reborn 2 months earlier than me. Gu Chijue watched these videos and was completely convinced that the latter was a reborner. Moreover, she also told the empire that the mutant apocalypse was about to arrive. This explains why the satellite network was launched so quickly. Big Brother Black Dragon, do you have a human phone? Baihu looked at Gu Chijue, who was operating a human phone so skillfully, and hesitated. Gu Chijue didn't answer her and continued to scroll through the videos. Sure enough, he found a news video released by the empire. The mutant apocalypse has arrived unexpectedly, causing heavy losses to humanity. If you are still alive, please hide as much as possible and wait for the rescue of the Imperial Army. In this mutant apocalypse, batches of super warriors have awakened among humans. The Empire implores these super warriors to join the rescue operations of the Imperial Army and save more future seeds for our human race. Mutual infighting will only accelerate the extinction of humanity. Humans need to unite and overcome this catastrophic disaster. After watching this video, Gu Chijue searched for Yun City. Sure enough, Yun City also had Empire videos. Hello, super warriors of Yun City, I am Lin Tiendo, the person in charge of the Yun City military region. We had expected this apocalypse for a long time, but we were unwilling to believe it, but we have also made preparations. Now, our Yun City East Suburb military region has cleared all the mutant monsters, and the constructed underground shelter can accommodate 3 million humans. We sincerely hope that all humans in Yun City can join our rescue operation and fight the mutant monsters to the end. We recruit all super warriors, will not give up any survivor, and will not let go of any evil thugs who harm humans in the apocalypse. Watching this video, Gu Qijue was expressionless. He was not afraid of Mu Qingxue, who was also a reborner. Even if she could be reborn, it would not change his own changes. If he could awaken superpowers in his previous life, he would definitely be able to awaken them in this life. If he couldn't awaken them, even if he was reborn, he still wouldn't be able to awaken them. In his previous life, Gu Qijue had heard of Mu Qingxue. She awakened the emperor-level superpower, and she should also be the same after being reborn. The only difference is that she built a shelter. Gu Qijue didn't believe that she could be as crazy as him to devour other powerful things. Even if she also devoured, she couldn't be as powerful as him. Because the black dragon in his previous life was the ceiling of combat power on this planet. An existence that was invincible in one-on-one combat. Big brother black dragon, let's go. Let's devour and become stronger. We can't possibly enter this shelter. Baihu saw Gu Qijue's eyes flickering as if he was thinking about something and said in a low voice, "Rumble." Just as White Fox finished speaking, the heavy iron door of the shelter rumbled open, and then, over 100 super warriors swarmed out from inside. The fortress-like shelter was built very luxuriously. The power source includes solar power generators and wind power. Defensive measures have also been taken to the extreme. The ground is made of reinforced concrete to prevent mutated creatures that can burrow. In addition, there are some small factories providing daily necessities. There is no shortage of water, with several water wells drilled. And there are more than 10 paddy fields. The outside world is extremely chaotic, but inside this shelter, there is harmony. Rumble. Just then, the heavy iron door of the shelter rumbled open, and over 100 super warriors swarmed out. This group of super warriors are very powerful. Once they rushed out, they began to massacre the mutated creatures outside. Are these the super warriors among humans? White Fox looked at the more than 100 powerful super warriors and said curiously. Gu Qijue watched quietly, without saying anything. The group of super warriors, after cleaning up the monsters outside the shelter, transported the monster corpses back. Why are they transporting the corpses of those monsters back? White Fox asked in confusion. Gu Qijue understood very well. He was truly certain that Mu Qingxue was a reborn. Their transporting the monster corpses back was undoubtedly to try and see if they could plant mutated trees. Interesting. Gu Qijue showed an evil smile and said, "Let's go, devour, and become stronger. When dawn arrives, there will be a more tragic fight waiting for us. Tomorrow, the sun will shine on the earth, and many mutated trees will grow. The mutated fruits that grow, whether for super warriors or for Gu Qijue and the others, are the greatest resources for increasing strength." He knew that Mu Qingxue definitely knew this too. There are so many super warriors in this shelter. Undoubtedly, Mu Qingxue recruited them before the arrival of the mutated apocalypse. She did a good job with this.